Kia ora, no mai haere mai, hello and welcome. This is Deborah McMahon talking astrology with you. And today we're talking about the transit of Jupiter through Aries, which occurs throughout parts of 2022 and 2023. I'm a little late getting this out, but the majority of this information has been published on my Facebook page for a while. And I'm doing this for those of you who prefer to watch or listen instead of read. And since this is YouTube, my word count isn't restricted, so I can spend some additional time on some key transits while Jupiter is in Aries. So with that, let's get started. In a roughly 12-year cycle, we can experience lucky planet Jupiter transiting each of the 12 zodiacal signs. When Jupiter moves through a sign, it invites us on a journey of expansion flavored by the themes of the particular sign. And since Jupiter expands whatever it touches, the sign expression can be very evident indeed. Jupiter is the greater benefic, meaning it brings optimism and often a helping hand. Through Jupiter, we feel a sense of cohesiveness and comprehension. We believe we have the bigger picture, and through this, it speaks to our faith and beliefs. It is associated with foreign travel, higher education, teachers, and wisdom. The movement of Jupiter through our personal zodiacs is a journey of optimism and growth. It's a wonderful transit to track. So Jupiter made its ingress into Aries on 11 May this year. And this will be a story in two parts. Part 1, 11 May to 28 October 22, when Jupiter will transit through to the 8th degree, then stop and retrograde back into Pisces for one last watery refrain. The second part will be from 22nd of December 2022 through to 17 May 2023. Aries is the first sign of the natural zodiac. It is the first of the cardinal signs, the season starting signs. So it shares the impulse to initiate, but it does so through the element of fire, which is energetic and volatile. Aries is about immediacy, speed, beginnings, and it is about being in the moment, in the now. It asserts itself through bold, impatient, impulsive, passionate, pioneering action. Under the influence of Aries, we know our direction in life and we take it courageously, unapologetically, and sometimes brutally. So soon after Jupiter made its ingress into Aries, it will be joined by the sign ruler, Mars, adding some extra pepper to this recipe. Mars signifies our physical energy and our ability to assert ourselves and pursue our desires. It represents our personal will. It is unafraid to separate from others if it means getting what it wants, showing passion, anger, or force on occasions. Mars can also signify our sexual drive. When in Aries, Mars has essential dignity, and so the expression of its natural inclinations is encouraged. And when in conjunction with Jupiter, these inclinations can be exaggerated, maybe even tipped into excess. Mars will want to act now and damn the bruised feelings or constraints. Whether the conjunction is positive or a negative expression in our lives can depend on our personal circumstances, the area of life governed by Aries in our personal astrology, because some fit better than others, and the interaction of our natal planets with what's going on in Aries. Mars will transit Aries from 25 May to 5 July 2022, and will perfect its conjunction with Jupiter on the 29th of May at 3 degrees of Aries. But it's not just about that day. You can think about the influence of the transit, much like a wave. It builds, then peaks, then starts to recede. So we may feel the influence of this conjunction for a few days either side of it becoming exact. Another interesting phenomenon is Jupiter's retrograde whilst in Aries. Once Jupiter reaches the 8th degree, it will have slowed and come to an apparent stop in the sky, and then slowly at first move backwards through the first 8 degrees of Aries and the last 2 degrees of Pisces, before it will stop again and return to forward motion. I've noted here for you the exact degrees of the retrograde and direct stations. And here I've noted the dates of the retrograde. The foreshadowing period begins when Jupiter is still in Pisces in May. And the retrograde proper occurs from the end of July through to the end of November. And then Jupiter will move free from shadow from February 15th, 2023. For those of us who have important angles or natal planets in the first 8 degrees of Aries, or the final 2 of Pisces for that matter, we can have quite a personal threefold experience of Jupiter, perhaps an opening of an issue, then a deepening, followed by a resolution or integration. And of course, a slowing or stopped planet intensifies its themes. So there could be a big Jupiterian experience around the end of July, beginning of August, for those of us who have something in our charts near 8 degrees of Aries. And that can be true too for placements around 8 degrees of any of the cardinal signs, such as Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Here's a slide showing some of the key transits involving Jupiter whilst it transits Aries. And if you like, you can pause this and just take those dates in. I'll be jumping off soon into the charts. And here's the second slide of transits. You'll note that the first 3 actually occur when Jupiter has returned to Pisces. So I won't focus on those charts because Jupiter in Pisces is not the theme of this video. Now let's have a look at those charts of the transits of interest. So the first one here is the Mars conjunction on the 29th of May, 2022. Of course, we've talked of the Mars conjunction already. Just ignore the house placements in these displays. I have solar fire set to my place in the world, which may be different from yours. So you will have these planets maybe in different houses where you are. So this is the chart of Mercury trine Jupiter on the 24th of July. You can see that Jupiter at 8 degrees of Aries is very near its station. So we can have a very intensified Jupiterian theme. And I picked out this aspect because it also includes the bonifying trine aspect between Jupiter and Mercury. So it's a very helpful, supportive aspect between the 2 planets. So it's possible that around this time we have something to communicate or a performance to make. And we may surprise ourselves with it. This is a chart of Venus square Jupiter, which actually occurs the next day, the 25th of July. So of course, Jupiter's still at 8 degrees, nearing its station, intensifying those Jupiterian themes. I've picked this out because we have both benefits, the greater and the lesser benefit involved. We do have a square, which does bring challenge, but also the potential for personal adjustment. And I guess that challenge or cross purposes occurs because of the very different signs involved. So Venus in Cancer is very soft and nurturing, quite in contrast to that bold, brash Jupiter in Aries. So this is the chart of Venus trine Jupiter. Again, Jupiter it's on the 18th of August. Again, Jupiter is at 8 degrees of Leo. It has started to move in retrograde motion, but still very slowly returning to motion. So we've still got that intensified Jupiterian theme. I've picked this out because we have both benefits involved, plus we have that very bonifying trine aspect. So a very interesting day, or even a week either side. This is the chart of Mars sextile Jupiter on the 1st of September. And we have Jupiter at 6 degrees of Aries, whilst Mars is at 6 degrees of Gemini. And of course, Mars is the ruler of Jupiter, whilst Jupiter is in Aries. And this is a helpful sextile. So there could be some themes around pushing forward with data or information or communication. And this is the chart of Venus opposite Jupiter for the 2nd of October, occurring at 3 degrees of Libra. So again, both benefics are involved, but this time Venus is in dignity in Libra. So she's expressing all of her natural inclinations. And Jupiter is at the location where it conjoined Mars at the end of May. So this could be part 2 of a story that began back in May. Interesting. This is the chart of Venus sextile Jupiter on the 4th of January 2023 at 1 degrees of Aries. Again, I've picked this out because both benefics are involved and they are in a supportive sextile. I think this may be about strongly held beliefs, taking action on strongly held beliefs, or may have something to do with associations and groups. This is a chart of Venus conjunct Jupiter on the 2nd of March 2023 at 12 degrees of Aries. I picked this out because both benefics are involved, and in a conjunction we blend the expression of both planetary expressions. I might have said expressions twice there. So remember that Jupiter is the greater benefic, and it's about optimism, expansion, a helping hand, wisdom, foreign travel. And Venus is the lesser benefit, and this planet is about a sense of beauty and connection, harmony, marriage. And so that will be an interesting little influence to watch for early next year. And so our final chart here is the Sun conjunct Jupiter on the 12th of April 2023 at 21 degrees of Aries. Again, the two planetary energies are blended together in the expression. So whenever we see the Sun conjunct Jupiter, it is considered to be a lucky day. So enjoy that day. I just wanted to end with reminding us all that wherever Jupiter goes, optimism and expansion can also be experienced. So enjoy your Jupiter in Aries transit. It will be 2034 and 2035 before we cycle through to this combination again. Noho oro mai. Stay well. Goodbye for now.